sure everybody has the opportunity to get some food while it's warm. Players, all of your families are here to celebrate and honor you. So remember how we talked yesterday, how everybody voted unanimously that the family should go up and get some food before the players. You guys remember that?
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, there, thank you. So families, please come up, get a little food, and when you're done, the players will get some food also. And we can always start small and then get some leftovers or something second. So families, please come up and get some food.
Sorry.
So, I teach 8th grade here. So I know like all of our returning 7th graders, all the ones that were coming to 8th grade, I knew all of them really well. And I knew all the players we had coming back. And we showed up the first day of practice, and there's this not very big kid, and he goes, "I'm Avery." And I was like, "What's up, Avery?" He goes, "I play football, coach." And I was like, "All right, I'll believe it when I see it, man." And even though he wasn't the biggest kid, we lined up like second day, and there's this other 7th grader that's no longer on the football team, and it's probably because of this. I lined him up with Avery one-on-one, and Avery just sent this kid back like 5 yards. And that kid is no longer on the football team after that day. He quit. But hey, right then I was like, all right, Avery does this. He's about this life. He plays football. And from then on, he was a starter for us on defense. He started a lot for us on offense. And he's going to be a great player for us next year. He's going to be one of our impact guys that hopefully helps us defend our championship next year. So, Avery, hey.
Avery!
All right, you guys go back to eating all that. Appreciate it.
Hey, thanks for everybody being here. We would like to hand out some certificates to the kids, talk a little bit about the players. But before we do that, just like we talked yesterday, you guys remember? Remember when we talked yesterday, players, you guys said that at the end of eating, you guys would love to bus all the tables for the families. So go ahead and do that. And then when all the tables are bussed, then we'll start handing out some certificates. So players, please show your appreciation for your families and bust all the tables, get everything thrown away, and then we will talk. Ready, break. Certificates here. So if everybody can come together, take a seat. Hey, y'all in the back, can you guys move up here to the front? There's got some tables up here in the front. Thank you. So first and foremost, I want to thank everybody, all the families for being here. We spent a lot of time with you kids this season, working on coming together as a family, trying to teach these kids about, being part of a team, working on the fundamentals, trying to get them ready for high school. But I also know that there's a lot of sacrifices that come from the families also to have them participate. So we want to let you know that we really appreciate you sharing all of your kids with us. That's important, and it's important that we recognize all of our kids. We had a great season, and we want to spend some time recognizing each one of the players that participated in our program. Go ahead.
So before we get to the players, we had 2 managers. Okay. We had Noni and Muna that helped out every day. Okay, they were always there. Whatever we needed ice, we needed to grab footballs, we needed anything out of the shed, they were always there to help us out. Okay, managers are a big part of what we do here. They pretty much do a lot of work without any reward. They don't actually get to play football like everyone else does. Okay, so they were fantastic. Some of the best managers we've ever had. It was awesome having them around every day, and I appreciate you guys for your effort. Want me to start with the first one?
No.
You go first one? Oh, yeah.
Also, before we get to the players, we also wanted to recognize a couple other families here that did such an incredible amount for us to be successful. Parents that showed up, helping out with snacks and everything else like that. We have Omaha's dad that did a lot of filming, and we wanted to make sure that we recognized the parents. And I'm also going to recognize my whiteness, because I want to do something special for the families, and I had a really cool idea, but I knew that I could not pull it off by myself. So I work over at Federway High School, and my good friend Tassi and her friends helped me out and put together some lays, because I know that I could never have done this by myself. I don't even know if I can take them out of the package by myself. So, here, go put these on your cards, will you? Here. And there's cards too. So we just want to recognize how much we appreciate everything that you guys did for the players.
That'd be great. So we'll start with the first player here. Unfortunately, this player was our starting running back at the Jamboree, but then never got to play in the game. He went and played for the Hawks the weekend before we were supposed to play Sacagawea and hurt his hip and was out 6 to 8 weeks. And unfortunately, in middle school football, 6 to 8 weeks is the whole season. So we tried to get him back right before the last game, but it wasn't meant to be. I don't know what it was. He wasn't meant to play. But he was still at most of the practices. He was almost there every day. There was some that he had to go home for. He had doctor's appointments and stuff like that. But he was an awesome kid to have around. And unfortunately, we never got to see his talents on the field. But he's still a Lakota football player to us. So Curtis, I appreciate you.
All right. So I'm in a little bit of a unique situation here. I was at the school last year. I was at Lakota for a long time, and I'm not here anymore. I was fortunate enough to have this kid in my PE class last year. I got to know him a little bit. I was actually surprised that he came out for football. And what a great sense of humor. He's a kid that came out every day. He worked hard. He might not have got a ton of playing time, but what he did was he came out every day and he helped make the other players better. And that's Michael Verdanian, otherwise known as Batman. Come over, Batman.
All right, so this next one is probably one of our hardest workers on the team. And not just that, he's a great student. Again, not one that played a whole tremendous amount, but he was always at practice, always working hard, always helping us get better. And he's one of those kids that you just know whatever he does in life, he's going to be great at. I hope he comes and visits and hangs out and comes so I can see what he does with his life, because I know it's going to be great. Tristan, it was a pleasure having you on the team.
Yeah. All right, here's another kid. Here's another kid that I knew a little bit last year. I got to know his brother really well, and then we come out for football this year, and I'm like, oh, wait a minute. I got a little brother. Hard-working kid, 7th grader, right? 7th grader. And we were actually out running some errands and doing some stuff today, and we're talking about this kid. And one of the things that Coach Robbins said is that this is a kid that's going to be really special for us next year and do a lot of great things. And that's Adam Nutt.
So this is our biggest kid on the team, and without him, we would have been in a lot of trouble. On the offensive line, we were really small. Like when we showed up to practice, we were really nervous about our offensive line. And But we were like, hey, but Owen kind of counts as 2 kids. So, hey, we put him up there, and he was a monster, wherever we put him. He started at guard. We had troubles at center. He was like, hey, coach, I've snapped for the Hawks. He's like, I can play center. So we put him at center and took off from there. It helped free us up and gave us a lot of maneuverability on the offensive line, and it made us a lot better of a team. And Owen's just that kind of kid. So Owen, I appreciate it.
All right. This kid was at Lakota last year when I was here, but I didn't really know him. I didn't know him until we came out the first day of practice, and I was like, who's these kids in? And I looked and I was like, and this kid's a giant. And then come to find out halfway through the season, he's only a 7th grader. What a great sense of humor. What a kid came out and he gave us all every single day. And whatever we asked of him, he came out and said, yes, coach, I'll do it. And that's Jake the Snake.
So, this next guy, when we started the season, he came out and with everybody, and we were like, he's an awesome kid, he's a good athlete, but we don't know if he's going to be a great football player. And then we put pads on and put everything on, and me and Coach Johnson have talked a lot about the difference between last year's team and this year's team is that there was no fear. Nobody was scared to hit. Everybody stuck their head in there and was ready to go. They were ready to play football. And this guy was that to a T. Once he put pads on, he was ready to go. He was ready to hit everybody. Our own team, their team, didn't matter. He was ready to go. And he ended up being a starter for us towards the end, and he worked his way in with hard work and coming to practice every day. He went from a guy that wasn't playing really at all to playing pretty much every snap on defense and on offense, and that's Benjamin Pat. Oh,
All right.
You gonna read all 3 of them?
No, I got to put you over here.
Not all 3.
Oh. I had no idea who this kid was before this year. But he came out a little late, but he was so excited about what was going on. But one of the things about this kid, he'd come out and he's like, he's missing a knee pad here. He'd go out, we'd be halfway through practice, and I'd be like, where's your mouth guard? Oh, I forgot it at home. He'd come out there, he'd be like wearing one shoe, right? We didn't know what we were going to do with this kid, right? But we had kids that were getting injured. We'd have a lot of players on our team. Hey, can you play this position? Oh, yeah, I can. Can you play this position? Oh, yeah, I can. I think he ended up starting both ways by the end of this whole thing. And I think that I made a deal with him. If he could show up one day with all of his gear, then I was going to run 2 laps around the track. And he hasn't forgot that since. I might run, I don't know, maybe. We'll talk about that. Anyway, so get up here, Aaron Pearson.
This next kid is going to be another returner for us next year, and he's going to be a big part of what we do next year. When you look at him in size and stature, you wouldn't think he's a very good football player. But when you put his pads on, again, he's not scared. He's ready to hit. We had some film on there where he's tackling kids twice his size. But hey, he's a gamer. He's ready to go. He's always ready to play. And next year, he's going to be an integral part of what we do. At running back, on defense, hopefully he fills into his body a little bit more, and his mentality will match his size. But Deshaun, man, hey, we can't wait to
All right. Here's another guy I know a little bit. He came out, and again, we're trying to figure out where people go and things like that. We have these positions. We're like, oh, God, can this guy play this position? He's way too small. Can he play this position? I don't know. He's not fast enough. But we put him in these spots. And whenever we put him in these spots, he would rise to the challenge. He got hurt for a little bit, and then we were coming up with a need at the end of the year. And especially in that game that you guys saw against Illy the other day, he got his starting chance, and he played linebacker for us. And I was watching that film, and he's going in there, and he is just lighting people up. So the enthusiasm, the passion that this kid was able to bring in the time that we needed him most, he's our guy. That's DeMarco.
Okay, so this next kid, he was turned out to be a lineman for us. But he might be the fastest kid on the team. So it was a weird combo. Hey, he's definitely beating you guys the stuff. Okay. Hey. Okay.
Omaha, the rest of them, yeah.
Anyways, well, we had him with our receivers and our backs, and like I said, we had a problem with our linemen. And I'll give this one to Coach Johnson. He looks over there. He goes, I think he might be able to play on the line. And I'm like, are you sure? He goes, hey, we had him over there, and he wasn't scared. Biggest kid, didn't matter. He was ready to go. And he turned out to start from that day on. He was our starting right guard for the rest of the season. And next year, hopefully we can get him back to play running back or something else that he would enjoy a lot more. Luckily, he's only a 7th grader, and he's going to be an awesome player for us next year. So, Daniel, we appreciate it.
All right. Yeah, this is a kid. This is a kid I know very well, who coming into the football program, that we knew that he was going to be playing varsity football for us. We knew that he was going to be special. We had no idea where we were going to be able to plug him in, because he's an athletic kid, right? He's got hands, he can run, he can do all these things, but all the skill positions, and we need linemen, and we probably put him into a position where he probably wasn't, the happiest about being there. But he played offensive, defensive line for us. He never said anything except he just worked his tail off every day. I think that when we played Illahee, he came in Illahee with, like a 104-degree temperature, and he could barely even breathe, he could barely even walk. And he came out there and he played. We're thinking, okay, hey, we're just gonna keep on the sideline and have to play. I think that he played like, when he played offense for a while, we was like, hey, we need you in the game. Can you do it? And he's like, yeah. So here's a kid that just proved how unselfish he is. He is a super, super athlete, and I don't know that we could have had the success that we did without him. And that's Ethan.
So, I think it's alright, so, this kid, I'm gonna be honest. I'm not really good with names, and I didn't know this kid's first name until like last week. I didn't know. I just called him by his last name every time. It was on his helmet. Because, again, I only know 8th graders. I don't know 7th graders. So, when he was at practice every day, and I'm like, I don't know what your name is. But he works really hard, and he was awesome, and he's a great kid, and he's a great student, first of all. We would do these study halls. Hopefully you guys heard about those. We do study halls, and I'm like, hey, you got anything to work on? He goes, nope. And I was like, you're a liar. Let me see your grades. And he always had straight A's. And I was like, all right, well, that's rare for us. So we would take that, and he's going to be a great piece of what we do next year. Luckily, he's only a 7th grader. He's a big kid. Hopefully, he can muscle up a little bit, be as big as his brother is. Hopefully, his brother, unfortunately, didn't get to play for us. But Gladstone, you're going to be a big forward piece for us next year.
Yeah! All right. Hey, this kid here, I think we have to talk him into playing football, right? I know he's a baseball player, right? He's a baseball player.
I did.
He's a little bit of a basketball player too, right? He's pretty smooth, right? And then I'm talking to Robbins. I'm like, hey, we got this guy out, because I knew he should be coming out, and it was like, I don't think so. And then he goes in and he shows up, and I don't know how much football experience that he had before he came and started playing with us, but I'll tell you what a tremendous athlete that this kid is. I saw him last year on the basketball court, and I know that he brings a lot on the baseball field, but he's our center fielder in football. He filled the need for us at slot. He's there all the time. He's ready to go. He even calls his own plays, right?
He did. He was the only kid I've ever had that I called a play and he called a different one, so it would go to him. And it worked, so I wasn't too bad.
And it also happens to be his birthday tomorrow. Oh yeah. So how about if we all just sing happy birthday to him? 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. acknowledge somebody that we don't necessarily have an award for, but we certainly want to recognize. We didn't have a JV team this year, but we had a lot of varsity kids, and we're trying to do some hiring, things like that. With me being over at the high school, I had a tough time making practice on time. I'm so sorry, everybody. But we were able to hire Coach Ben over here, and Coach Ben showed up every day. Coach Ben showed up every day. He would give a speech right now, but he's a man of few words. So, and we want to respect that, but I just want you to know that we appreciate all the work that you did with the kids, all right? Hey, so that's it. That's everybody, right? All right, so thank you guys.
He said y'all play too much.
Can I get the 4 horsemen up here, please?
What are 4 horsemen?
Our captain.
Oh, you got that.
Just give me So we have had a lot of success this year, and it's due to a lot of people. It's due to the families, the parents, all you other kids that work so hard and at practice and at games to support us. We got 4 kids here that are 4 returning varsity players that were involved in our program last year. Last year, we had a lot of success, and we had some growing pains too. I don't know if you guys know that we played Illinois twice last year. I think we lost 45-6 one time and 35-6 another time. But these guys came back. They were committed. They were the foundation of everything that we're trying to do, and they're an example of what hard work, passion, and determination does. We would love to recognize all of our kids with awards. The school, they only wanted to give us 2 awards this year, and we were able to talk them into 3. So, there's 4 of you guys there, but we want to recognize all of you. All right, we want to. I'm sure you're going to say a couple things about the kids, right? But on behalf of the whole staff and all of our families and our team, I want to let you guys know that we appreciate all of you guys' leadership for 2 years. All right, go ahead, Coach.
So our first award is for a kid that last year, I tell him all the time, he wasn't a very good football player. He was a great kid and a great athlete, but for some reason, he was running like, it looked like he was sprinting, but it looked like he was in slow motion. And I didn't know why. But he came this year, and it was like a totally different player. He showed up, and I'm like, all right, this guy's really good. Where was this at? And he goes, Coach, I've been at the field all offseason. The whole summer I was at the field. And now luckily we probably had the 4 best players in the league on the same team. And he was easily one of them. He's a great leader, a great student, and a great kid. And honestly, I can't say enough great things about him. And he is our most improved player this year, and that's Idris Heiliger.
So I want to talk a little bit about a kid, and I'm sure you all know this is my last year, my last banquet, everything else like that. It's not about me. However, I'm saying that to say that I've been around for a long, long time. 26 years, I think we talked about. Anyway, and this guy up here reminds me of a kid that I didn't coach, but I coached against. And it's interesting because this kid that I coached against when he was in high school, he actually played quarterback. And we're watching the kid on film. I watched him in person, and he never seemed like he was the fastest kid around, but he was always a little bit faster than who was chasing him. And he was certainly not the biggest kid or the strongest kid, but he always seemed to be able to run over anybody that was covering him. Marcellus, Jojo, man, you guys know I love you, right? Okay, I love you guys, right? And that kid's name's Jake Locker, who played for University of Washington, also played a little bit in the NFL. And this kid might be the best middle school football player that I've ever seen. He might be. And that's Miles goodbye.
Our next guy is like the perfect example of what you want as a student athlete. All of his teachers, unfortunately I don't have him in class, but all of his teachers I talk to him and they all say how great of a kid he is in class, how he's always paying attention, he's always answering questions, he's always doing whatever the teachers need of him. And when he came out to the football field, he's just ready to go. And he's incredibly fast, he runs people over, he does whatever we need him to do. He started as slot receiver. We had our running back go down, he went into running back, and he never complained or anything. I know he didn't like playing running back, but that's where we needed him. And he was excelled at wherever we put him. And like I said, he's a perfect example, and he's this year's recipient of our Coaches Award. And that's love.
Four guys, only 3 awards.
That's it. Thanks for coming.
But we went to go get it. He went to go get it.
Yeah, I said we ain't getting 3 awards. I'm gonna try not to cry. So, I don't know if you guys know, one of the awards that we have here at Lakota is called our Mr. Falcon Award. And it's a perpetual plaque. And it's for a kid that exemplifies everything about what we're trying to do. Whether it's being a student, being a person in the community, being an athlete. I've known this kid for a long time. My wife actually used to teach 3rd grade, and you were one of his students, right? And I know that he was here, and then he was gone, and then he came back, and then I heard something about he was going to Sequoia. And I know I've been around a while, and I try not to pull too many favors, but I made a phone call to the district, and within 2 days, they called back and said, no, this kid's a Lakota kid. And this kid embodies everything that is what Lakota is about, right? Whether it's, like I said, doing it on the field, doing it off the field, being a friend, being a person in the community with a great family. And there's nobody that is more deserving of the Mr. Falcon Award. This award will be in our trophy case for as long as Lakota is here. And I'll also have one for him to take home and put on his wall. And that goes to Omaha. So once again, there's no way that we could do this and have the success that we have as a team without all of you. So thank you again for you guys' partnership and sharing your kids with us, and hopefully when they go to high school, whether they're great, they're on a great team, whatever happens, that they've had such a good experience that they want to continue playing the sport in high school. So thank you to all the players and to all the families.
I appreciate it, guys.
Hey, thanks to all of you. What's that?
Thank you for inspiring our kids. We appreciate you.
I'll still be around, but I'll have to thank you. I appreciate that. Always a pleasure. Pleasure working with you. You know, it's always nice when you have great kids. You know what I mean? There's a lot of you.
Wait, coach. I still got it. Yeah, you still got it. All right. Who's Ben? I'll get everybody. Coming from being all of our teammates, we want to thank our coaches for leading us off to a great season and also leading us to the championships and taking us with a big dub, district champs. And we also want to celebrate Mr. Johnson's retirement, his last day coaching. And we want to say thank you to Mr. Robbins, Mr. Johnson, and also Coach Ben.
Oh, there you go.
Idris.
All right.
Thank you guys.
Thanks, coach.
Break out.
Break it down. There you go.
Hey, Falcons on me, Falcons on 3, 1, 2, 3. Rocket!
Go. Bye.